Imagine you're standing in front of three faucets. One is labeled 401k, another says Social Security, and the third reads pension. You turn them on, but there's a problem. You don't realize that opening them in the wrong order doesn't give you a steady stream of income, it floods your entire tax return. Here's what happens. You withdraw $20,000 from your 401k thinking that's all you'll owe taxes on, but then your tax return shows $37,000 in taxable income. How is that even possible? It's because the IRS has built three separate traps into the way retirement income is taxed, and they're triggered specifically when you claim your income sources in the wrong sequence. The order in which you tap these three faucets, your 401k, your Social Security, and your pension, matters far more than the total amount you have or the accounts themselves. Hey, I'm Frank, and by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how these three traps work, why most people get the sequence backwards, and a simple framework you can use right now to figure out your optimal claiming order. Let's dive in. Before we talk about the traps, we need to understand what each income source actually is and how it behaves. Think of these as three different buckets, with each its own rules. The traditional 401k or IRA is your first bucket. Every single dollar you withdraw from this gets taxed as ordinary income, no exceptions. Now, you do have flexibility here. Starting at age 59 and a half, you can take out as much or as little as you want whenever you want. But there's a catch waiting. At age 73, the IRS forces you to start taking required minimum distributions, or RMDs. We'll come back to why that matters. Social Security is your second bucket, and this is where people get confused. You can claim as early as age 62, but if you do, your benefit gets permanently reduced by about 30%. You can wait until age 70, and for every year you delay past your full retirement age, usually around 67, your monthly benefit increases by roughly 8%. That's a 77% difference between claiming at 62 versus waiting until 70. But here's the hidden part. Depending on your other income, anywhere from 0 to 85% of your Social Security benefits can be subject to income tax. That's the kicker most people miss. Your pension, your third bucket, is truly fixed income. For most plans, it starts automatically when you retire or at age 65, whichever comes first. You typically can't delay it, it just turns on. And like your 401k, every dollar is taxable as ordinary income. Now, most people think the natural order is obvious. Claim Social Security early for guaranteed income, let the pension roll in when it's supposed to, and let the 401k sit and grow untouched. It feels safe. It feels logical. But that sequence triggers the three traps I mentioned. Let me show you exactly what those are. Trap 1. The Social Security Tax Torpedo. The IRS uses a special formula to decide how much of your Social Security gets taxed. They call it your combined income. Here's how it works. Combined income equals your AGI plus tax-exempt interest plus 1/2 of your Social Security benefits. For married couples filing jointly, if your combined income is between $32,000 and $44,000, up to 50% of your Social Security can be taxed. Cross that $44,000 threshold and up to 85% of your benefits become taxable. Now here's where it gets unfair. These thresholds were frozen in 1983. They've never been adjusted for inflation. The year was 1983. Your color television cost $500. Gas was 90 cents a gallon, and that's the last time Congress updated these numbers. Let me show you what this looks like in real dollars. Say you're a married couple, your combined income is sitting right at $43,000, just under that $44,000 cliff. You decide to withdraw an extra $2,000 from your 401k for a vacation you've been dreaming about. That $2,000 gets added to your AGI. Your combined income jumps to $45,000. Now you've crossed the threshold. Suddenly, 85% of that extra $2,000, roughly $1,700, gets added to your taxable income. So you withdrew $2,000, but you've created $3,700 in additional taxable income.
If you're in the 22% tax bracket, that withdrawal costs you about $814 in taxes. That's an effective tax rate of over 40% on that single withdrawal. This is what I call the tax torpedo, and it's not rare.
More than half of all retirees will pay taxes on their Social Security in 2026.
What makes this worse is that it only takes certain things to trigger it. Your 401k withdrawals count, so do your wages, investment income, and even interest from tax-free municipal bonds. But you know what doesn't count? Qualified Roth withdrawals as long as you're over 59 and a half and the account's been open at least 5 years, and withdrawals from your taxable brokerage account that represent your cost basis, your original investment, don't count. That distinction is going to matter in just a moment. Trap 2 is the IRMAA Cliff, Medicare's income surprise. Trap 2 hits you 2 years after you trigger it, and most people don't see it coming until it shows up in their Medicare bill. It's called Income-Related Monthly Adjustment Amount. Translation, if your income is too high, your Medicare premiums shoot up. But here's the cruel part. IRMAA uses your income from 2 years ago. Your 2026 Medicare premiums are based on your 2024 tax return. Your 2025 premiums came from 2023. This 2-year look-back window means you can trigger higher premiums without even realizing what you did. The thresholds are approximately $106,000 for single filers and $212,000 for married couples. Cross that line by even $1 and you're paying an extra $87.70 per month. That's over $1,000 a year. Go higher into the income brackets and those surcharges stack up. For a married couple, crossing even a low threshold can add $2,100 in yearly Medicare premiums. What triggers it? The same things that trigger the tax torpedo, your 401k withdrawals, Roth conversions, capital gains. And what doesn't trigger it? Qualified Roth withdrawals and bases from taxable accounts, the same things that protect you from the torpedo. So you start to see a pattern here. The IRS has basically weaponized certain types of income while giving a free pass to others.
The third trap is less common, but it can stack on top of the other two, adding another 3.8% to your tax bill. It's called the Net Investment Income Tax, or NIT. This one kicks in if your modified adjusted gross income exceeds $200,000 for single filers or $250,000 for married couples. Once you cross that threshold, a 3.8% tax applies to the lesser of your net investment income, dividends, interest, capital gains, rental income, or the amount your income exceeds the threshold. Here's the indirect mechanism. Your 401k withdrawals and IRA distributions aren't themselves considered investment income, but they do raise your modified AGI, which can expose more of your investment income to that 3.8% tax. For example, if you're $10,000 below the threshold and you have $10,000 of investment income, a $20,000 IRA withdrawal could push you $10,000 over and subject that $10,000 of investment income to the 3.8% tax. That's $380 in additional taxes from a withdrawal you thought was straightforward. Now let me show you exactly how that headline-grabbing math works. Let's say you're a married couple with $40,000 per year in Social Security benefits. You're sitting right at that $44,000 combined income threshold. You decide to withdraw $20,000 from your traditional IRA. Here's what happens. The $20,000 withdrawal itself equals $20,000 in taxable income, but there's more. That $20,000 pushes your combined income to $64,000. You're now $20,000 over the threshold. In the 85% tier, each extra dollar of non-Social Security income can pull 85 cents of your Social Security benefit into your taxable income. So that $20,000 withdrawal triggers approximately $17,000 of your Social Security benefits to become taxable. $20,000 plus $17,000 equals $37,000 in additional taxable income.
And that's before we talk about Medicare. If that same income spike pushes you over an IRMAA threshold, your Medicare Part B and Part D premiums will jump by roughly $2,100 per year for the next 2 years, even though you're now back below the threshold. The damage is already done. When you stack the Social Security Torpedo, the IRMAA Cliff, and potentially the net investment income tax on top of each other, a $20,000 withdrawal can easily cost you $5,000 to $7,000 in taxes and premium increases. The tragedy is this: it's completely avoidable if you claim in the right order.
The reverse sequence. Why backwards is right. Most conventional wisdom says claim Social Security early because it's guaranteed, let your 401k grow, and let your pension roll in on schedule. But that sequence is backwards for most people. The right sequence is this. Tap your 401k and taxable accounts first, do strategic Roth conversions in the early years, and delay Social Security until age 70 if your lifestyle allows it. Why? Because every dollar you pull from your 401k before you claim Social Security doesn't trigger the tax torpedo. You haven't claimed yet, so there's no Social Security benefit sitting there to be taxed. You're not weaponizing your own income. And here's the power move. During those years before Social Security kicks in, you can convert money from your traditional IRA to a Roth IRA at much lower tax rates, maybe 12% or 22%, without triggering any of the 3 traps. The Roth conversion doesn't count towards combined income. It doesn't trigger IRMAA premiums for that year. And if you structure it carefully, it doesn't even trigger the net investment income tax. You're essentially prepaying taxes at low rates on money you'll eventually need, and you're building a bucket of truly tax-free income that you'll live on later. Phase 1. The conversion window, age 62 to 70. Let me walk you through what Phase 1 actually looks like. Say you retire at 62 and plan to delay Social Security until 70. Your pension starts at 65. You need $60,000 per year to live on. Here's where that money comes from. First, you pull $50,000 from your taxable brokerage account. Of that, maybe $20,000 is a capital gain, and the rest is your original basis, money you've already paid taxes on. Only that $20,000 of gain is taxable. The basis portion gets 0 tax treatment. You pull another $10,000 from your traditional 401k to round out your $60,000 spending need. Now you have $30,000 in taxable income for the year. But here's where it gets strategic. You're in the 12% tax bracket for married couples. That bracket still has room before you hit the 22%. So you look at your traditional IRA and you ask, how much more can I convert to a Roth IRA while staying comfortably in the 12% bracket? Let's say you can convert another $60,000. You'll pay about $7,200 in taxes, 12% of $60,000. But now that $60,000 is locked in a Roth IRA where it grows completely tax-free forever. And years from now, when you withdraw it, it won't count towards combined income, won't trigger IRMAA premiums for that year, and if you structure it carefully, it doesn't even trigger the net investment income tax. You're essentially prepaying taxes at low rates on money you'll eventually need, and you're building a bucket of truly tax-free income that you'll live on later. Now, here's where your pension matters. Most pensions start automatically when you retire or at age 65, whichever comes first. So if you retire at 62 and your pension starts at 65, you've got 3 golden years, ages 62, 63, and 64, to do aggressive Roth conversions. But the moment that pension kicks in at 65 with, say, $40,000 per year, your taxable income jumps. Your conversion room shrinks. You might only be able to do small conversions after that, or none at all, depending on how aggressive you want to be with IRMAA thresholds.
This is why I say the years before your pension starts and before you claim Social Security are the most valuable window of your entire retirement. It's narrow, but it's powerful. If you repeat this process every year from retirement to 70, converting as much as you can while staying in comfortable tax brackets, by the time you reach age 70, you've moved potentially $200,000, $300,000 or more from your traditional IRA into a Roth IRA. You've shrunk your future required minimum distributions. You've built a bucket of truly tax-free money.
Phase 2. Living on optimized income, age 70. At age 70, everything changes. You flip the switch and claim your Social Security benefit at maximum value, that 77% increase I mentioned. Now your income sources look like this: Social Security, which is now flowing, your Roth IRA withdrawals, which are completely tax-free, smaller traditional IRA withdrawals, only what you need to fill out your tax bracket, and your pension, which has been running the whole time. The goal is simple: keep your combined income below those Social Security taxation thresholds as much as possible. But because you built that Roth bucket in Phase 1, you can pull your spending money from there, invisible to the IRS's tax formulas. Your traditional IRA is smaller now because you converted so much of it. Your RMDs at age 73 are manageable. They're not going to spike you into a higher tax bracket. They're not going to trigger all three traps. This is the power of the reverse sequence strategy. You front-load the tax paying during the conversion years when rates are lower and the traps aren't even armed. Then you live on tax-optimized income for the rest of your retirement. A real-world example: Tyler's story. Let me show you what this actually looks like. Meet Tyler. He retired at 62. His pension starts at 65, paying $40,000 per year. Ages 62 to 64, Tyler lives on his taxable brokerage account and does Roth conversions, filling up the 12% tax bracket each year. He is comfortable with that level of conversion. He does 3 years of this before his pension kicks in. At age 65, the pension starts. Now, Tyler's earning $40,000 from his pension alone. His taxable income just jumped. He can still do Roth conversions, but smaller ones, what we call micro-conversions, to avoid IRMAA thresholds, or he might skip conversions some years entirely. At age 70, Tyler claims Social Security, which is $35,000 per year. Combined with his $40,000 in pension, he's at $75,000 in non-Roth income. He supplements the rest of his living expenses with Roth withdrawals. His traditional IRA is much smaller now, so his RMDs at age 73 are minimal. This is the ideal situation, assuming it all fits with the lifestyle Tyler wanted from the start at 62. No tax surprises, no IRMAA shocks, no RMD avalanche hitting him at age 73. The decision tree, finding your sequence. Now let's build a simple decision tree you can apply to your own situation right now. Step 1. When does your pension start? If it starts at 65, your conversion window is from now until 65. Be aggressive with conversions during those years. If your pension starts as soon as you retire, your window is smaller, so focus on micro-conversions in lower income years. If you don't have a pension, you have maximum flexibility. Do Roth conversions right up until age 70. Step 2. Have you already claimed Social Security? If yes, maximize Roth withdrawals going forward and minimize traditional IRA withdrawals. You're locked in. There's not much you can change. If no, you're in the planning window. Proceed to Step 3. Step 3. Are you on Medicare or within 2 years of it? Most people will answer yes. Check your modified adjusted income from 2 years ago. Is it near the $106,000 or $212,000 IRMAA thresholds? If you're comfortable with the extra Medicare premiums, you have flexibility to take more conversions. If you're trying to stay below those thresholds, be more conservative. If you're not within 2 years of Medicare, you have more breathing room. Focus on staying within favorable tax brackets. Step 4. Calculate your combined income. If you've already claimed Social Security, add half your annual benefit to your AGI and other income. If that total is under $25,000 single or $32,000 married, the torpedo isn't as aggressive.
But if you're over those thresholds, the torpedo hits hard. In that case, consider delaying Social Security further and doing conversions now to reduce future taxable income.
Before we wrap up, I want to mention something that affects roughly half of married couples: the widow's tax. When you're married filing jointly, you have wider tax brackets. You can spread income across two people. But when you're widowed, you're suddenly a single filer with much tighter brackets. The same $100,000 in income that was comfortable for a couple creates a tax disaster for a widow. It's like flying with two pilots who can share the workload, and then suddenly you're flying solo with all the instruments on the dashboard screaming at you. This is another reason the sequence matters. If you've built that Roth bucket, the surviving spouse can live on those tax-free withdrawals during their toughest financial year. It smooths out the transition. The bottom line: here's what you need to remember. The order you claim your retirement income sources isn't about maximizing any single source. It's about minimizing the total taxes you'll pay across your entire retirement. For many people, the answer is this. Phase 1, 62 to 70. Tap your 401k and taxable accounts. Do Roth conversions. Leave Social Security alone. Phase 2, 70 plus. Claim Social Security at maximum benefit. Live on Social Security plus Roth withdrawals. Take only what you need from your traditional IRA. Watch your RMDs carefully. But your specific answer depends on when your pension starts, your investment income level, your Medicare timeline, and your tax brackets, both now and in the future. The three traps I showed you, the Tax Torpedo, the IRMAA Cliff, and the net investment income tax, are real, they're expensive, and they're completely avoidable if you understand the sequence. Don't let the order that feels safe be the order that costs you tens of thousands of dollars. The faucets are yours to turn. Now you know which order to turn them in. Before you leave, YouTube recommends you watch this video next. See you there.